So Katie Lou Samuelson has left the Indiana Fever. She has been bought out, and it's going to be interesting to see what effect exactly this has on the salary cap for Indiana, because obviously they were 30,000 above the salary cap. Does her entire contract come off the cap? Did they fully buy her out before the season started? So does that leave them with 150k cap room for a player? Like possibly they could have a minimum and 150k, or did they buy her out for a chunk of her contract, and only a chunk of the contract goes out off that cap room, or they fully buy her out? I don't know. I actually don't know the salary cap ins and outs of this. Obviously, look, she's going to be picked up, so it is what it is. Like, there's no way no one's going to pick her up. She's got some redeeming qualities as a basketball player. She's got a high IQ, I guess, and she tries. So I want to see, is anyone replying what happens with when it comes to the cap, because what happens with the cap is big. What happens to the cap is going to be huge for this. She got cut, like everyone knows. No trade necessary, buy out. Let's get another big dog. Like, I don't know what it does for the cap, and with that, it becomes very interesting, because if they have the full cap room, if Christy Wallace ends up gone next, if they have that full cap room to pay your 150k, that's when you're looking at maybe, just maybe, someone like an Elena Deladon. Elena Deladon at this stage in her career might just be happy to play off the bench. Looking at Elena Deladon playing the 3-4 off the bench, which allows Sophie Cunningham to kind of move down to the 2. But I don't know about the fit in that. Emma Mason is not going to come to sit on the bench. And I mean that. She's not going to come over. She is one of the best players in the world. She played on a team with Satu, Emma won MVP. She played on a team with Fee, Emma won MVP. She played on a team with Stewie, Emma won MVP. So she's not going to come over as one of the top 5 or 6 players in the world and come off the bench. And Natasha Howard did not sign to come off the bench. Dewana Bonner, you know what? Dewana Bonner might come off the bench. She might be okay coming off the bench, because I don't think she's got that much of an ego, but I don't see the point of bringing her off the bench. The only thing, if you're bringing an MMA someone, she's much better. She's much better than Leah Boston. Like, I hate to say it, she's way better than Leah Boston. Like, the player you would probably bench in that scenario is running Messamon at center and benching a Leah Boston, which is, look, not the right thing to do. But if you're just going by ability wise, especially because you're looking to build for true Leah Boston in the future, because she's 23. So a lot of people are saying they could look for MMA someone. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Deladon's an interesting one, because you can still play Sophie Cunningham and Lexi at the 2. You can move Deladon up. There are interesting players. Kennedy Carter's not going to happen. And we also have to figure out what salary they have left. Realistically, I'm just taking it that they have basically a minimum contract, and they have a draft pick and Jaylen Brown. I think the 2 draft picks, Jaylen Brown, are going to fight it out for one spot. And then I think they're going to have one more minimum contract player. I'm thinking they're going to sign a big, like a 6-7 big. So if Rhea Marshall's not available there in the draft, I think someone like Mercedes Russell could be interesting. Like, Mercedes Russell genuinely isn't this unbelievable player. She was way overpaid in Seattle, but right now she isn't signed by anyone. We've seen, like, Chiarn Parker-Tyus taking less money. She took less money to go to, Vegas. If they could have signed, like, a Parker-Tyus for that money, then completely fair. But, like, Mercedes Russell is a free agent, and she signed a 3-year, $480,000 on $160 a year. She signed one of the worst the Storm signed her to a terrible contract. But obviously, she is an unrestricted free agent. She's been signed by nobody. But I'm looking through Mercedes Russell's stats. Like, she was unbelievable in college. Like, last season, for her career, she's a 5-point per game scorer. And she's gone basically, since she got injured, they gave her the contract of a 7.3 point per game, 6 rebound a game season. She averaged 3 points per game last year. She averaged 3 points per game for the Seattle Storm coming off the bench. So someone like her on a near minimum would sort out their just physical size problem. As a backup center, her and Danta sharing minutes, or you can go for a rookie, try to see if Ayoka Lee is in the draft. If you're willing to take the risk on a Sedona Prince and just purely going basketball-wise. And then for the other position, I just go for a spark plug. I go for a bucket getter. So I would go for a Van Lith. I'd go for a Lucy Olsen. I would go for a bucket getter. I think Van Lit's better than Lucy Olsen, by the way. Like, I get it. Most people just watched Iowa face USC, where Lucy Olsen was exceptional. Hailey Van Lit's averaging like 20 points. What's she averaging? Like 19, and basically, she's putting up way better numbers on better shooting splits for a way better team. Like, there is no like reason why you would take Lucy Olsen over Hailey Van Lith in this draft. Unless, of course, you just watched Lucy Olsen play against USC and she was unbelievable in that game. Hailey Van Lith is averaging 18.6 assists for the 9th ranked in the nation TCU. Whereas Lucy Olsen is on an unranked Iowa team who, other than that big win against USC, and in fairness, they beat Minnesota, Lucy Olsen is averaging 16.5 on worst shooting from 2, worst shooting from 3, and on a much worse team. So, look, like Van Lith, if you're looking for one of those type of players, you go for Van Lith. But you also kind of hope that like Isaiah James or something's available. If you just want a bucket getter, there are bucket getters everywhere. And like, I would have the bucket getter, depending on what you can get in free agency. I'd get a big, and I just get a bucket. You don't need any glue guys. You don't need more glue guys. You need size, and you need maybe a Kelsey Mitchell off the bench replacement if Kelsey Mitchell gets injured, a spark plug. Get your spark plug in the second round. Go and get your big, whether it be in free agency or second round, and have the two of them and Jaylen Brown either fight out for 2 spots, or have the two of them and Jaylen Brown fight out for 1 while you take another free agent. So that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it for what the Fever are going to do now that Katie Lou is gone. Like, I don't see them going and making a splash. Maybe if Elena Deladon is like dead set on coming back and she wants to play off the bench, and the Fever are the team that probably allow her to do that the easiest, because there's no way in hell Elena Deladon would start for the Fever right now. She hasn't played basketball in a year, and her last year playing basketball, she was extremely, extremely injured. But no, I don't think that's going to happen. What I think is happening is they literally just got off Katie Lou so that they can field the team. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe they trade pick number 19 just to get off Christy Wallace. And that allows them to get another minimum-ish level contract player. But I don't even hate Christy Wallace as a 12th player. Christy Wallace is not a good defender. She's not a horrifically awful defender. And look, she shot 42% from 3 the year before. She shot terribly last year. She's bad at layups. But like, as your 12th player, you can do worse than Christy Wallace. It's just, obviously, if her contract doesn't allow you to sign a bigger free agent, which in the end it did, it was the Katie Lou contract that really screwed them after they gave Sydney Colson $90K. But anyway, I'll see you guys.